I went into a church's chicken with my grandma, and this guy was waiting to get his chicken, and he took a bite of it, and then yeah, I guess it didn't taste good, so he shot himself and killed himself in the church's chicken. He said the chicken tasted like bug spray, like mosquito spray. I was about 7 years old.
They
No,
blood
like honestly,
faced.
I wasn't repulsed. I wasn't like disgusted. I was like honestly like fascinated by it, and I wanted to see it again.
I dated someone for 6 years and they abused me the entire time, but I was too blind to see it. And I even spent money to go to London to see him, and I wasted 6 years.
Did you meet this person originally online, or did you meet
Yeah.
them? When did you realize this guy was like a walking red flag?
3 years in, but I stayed. You know, when you get in that mindset that you think someone's gonna change and they just never do? I just kept telling myself he would change. He just never did.
Physically or mentally abusing?
Mentally, because he never had the chance to be physically. Because I was the only one spending money for us both. I was the only one like saving money to go see him because he lived in London and I'm in the US. So I went to London once to see him, and the most he did was get angry at me and threw a candy bag at me and hit me in the face. I feel like if I stayed long enough to be in person with him, he would have done more, you know? So thankfully, he didn't get to that point. He begged me to stay even though he was cheating on me. And then he guilt tripped me and said that when I see him abusing me, I'm looking in a mirror because I'm the abusive one.
If you could give your younger self like advice during that moment, what would you tell yourself?
Not to do it. Not to waste 6 years.
Yeah, when I was 16, I got locked up for 2 years. And that kind of like fucked me up bad. I was drunk, high, and I basically just walked around in public with a gun and got gun charges. Pretty much, that's about it.
It was basically like when I dropped out of school because like I was getting away from my grandparents because I live with them and I didn't want to go to school anymore. So I ran away to like my mom's place because I had like the keys to her apartment. So I just like stayed there for like 2 or 3 months. But it was pretty rough because I had my own business, right? And it was only giving me like a few hundred a month, and I was living off that because my mom's like an absent parent. So it was like kind of like tough. And then because of that, I socially isolated myself from all my friends because I was like my brain was in survival mode because I was like min-maxing like surviving off my small budget. And then I low key I went like mentally insane because when you like socially isolate yourself, like that's like one of the worst things you can do to yourself. And it's just kind of like, how should I say this? It's like, like if someone like kills someone or like, I don't know, but like, in prisons, they have like social isolation. It's like a form of psychological torture. So then like after that, like I went back to my grandparents because they weren't mad at me about dropping out of school, but I ain't ever been the same since. Like I feel like my whole personality shattered and I lost my sense of identity. And now I'm just like living off a whim, just doing whatever. So, at the time I was 17. It took me like a month or like two to like actually to like be able to like, I don't know, function properly, like be a normal human. But I'm still like, all of my friends would say I'm like a very strange person. I don't really interact with people normally. I just like, I don't know. And it's kind of like I'm a very contradictory person as well. Like if I have an opinion on something, like I'll also like counter my own opinion. So I have like contradictory thoughts on like the same thing and stuff. And it's like my mindset or like how I view a certain thing will always change. It's like I don't even know what I want, like very indecisive. I feel like that like words from someone in that like or even advice or anything would be just completely meaningless because I was just trying to like I don't know, I was just trying to like live.
I recently got out of a 10-year relationship with my ex-fiance slash like high school sweetheart. That one was pretty pretty sticky to say the least. So like to make a long story short, I met this girl in like freshman year of high school. We were like 15 or so. Cut to, today, or I guess about a year ago. We had kind of like built our entire life around each other, like I bought a house for us, like built a business, planning on having a family and shit. Everything was fairly cut and dry, your typical high school sweetheart scenario. And then I guess like towards the later half of the relationship, I guess like 6 years in or so, it was like 2020. There was some weird shit that happened. I won't really get into the details, but long story short, it was basically some infidelity shit that kind of like fractured our dynamic, to say the least. And then over the next 4 years, from 2020 to like 2024, it was kind of just like us trying to bridge the gap or like mend the bond. And I don't know, I guess it was like unrepairable, it was unsalvageable because it got to the point where it was getting pretty toxic, you know. And I've always been the kind of person to like not engage with like, you know, arguments and fighting and things like that. You know, I try to stay pretty neutral on stuff, but I guess she was brought up in a household that was more volatile, to say the least. You know, you spend 10 years with somebody, you know, you fall in love, you go through this whole cycle of like building a life in preparation to spend the rest of your time on earth with them. And, you know, and then towards the end, things got so heated to where like it started turning like domestic. Like she started like punching me in the face and like fucking screaming at me. Like one day she literally like tried to stab me with a fucking like a fillet knife, you know. And she woke me up one day with my fucking 12 gauge shotgun that I keep next to my bed like pressed against my forehead and was like interrogating me about shit that like literally didn't happen. Like not even like trying to gaslight her. Like she was, I don't know if it was paranoia or delusion, but like she made up these scenarios in her head and then tried to like paint me as like this person that I'm not. And yeah, so I guess like that was the straw that broke the camel's back, you know. Like I was willing to go through so much bullshit to make things work, and then I wake up one day with my own shotgun pressed against my head, and I didn't have answers for the questions that she was in. And so she like stepped back and she pulled the trigger, and luckily I keep my safety on. So it clicked, you know, and immediately like I jump up out of bed, grab the gun from her, and next thing you know, cops are getting called. I'm having to kick her out of the house, which is like probably one of the most like difficult emotional experiences I've ever had. That was like last year, like, or well, not last year. It was like August-ish of 2024. So I know it's like not necessarily recent, but considering the emotional intensity of the situation and like the timeline of how things went, it kind of feels recent. You know what I mean? Still a little bit of like unprocessed trauma there, but yeah, it's definitely the most like sticky experience I've ever had. It kind of just lingers in your head for a while. I tried to keep in touch for a little while because our lives were still like pretty heavily entangled. Like she worked at my business, like that was her only source of income. And then on top of that, very shortly before we actually broke up, we went and financed a vehicle for her to help her build her credit score because she had like no credit history. So we went to a car dealership and picked up a vehicle and we put it on financing, like specifically with the intention of building credit. And so like after we broke up, it was like her only source of income is working at my business. And then on top of that, we have like a mutual loan on this vehicle that we just acquired. So we kept in touch for like practical reasons. And then we had like this fantasy of like working things out, which in hindsight was fucking delusional on my part to assume that that was realistic. But, you know, emotions were involved. So judgment kind of goes out the window. When you see red flags, don't try to paint them green.
Meeting the people that I have, because I'd be a very different person if I didn't know all the people in my life. There are people that I've learned a lot from. Like if I didn't get involved with the Mario like hacking community, I wouldn't be nearly as interested in making art, which is like my whole thing now. So I just think it's cool how like meeting random people can it can shape who you are.
Have you ever met anybody who has had kind of a negative impact on your life?
Definitely. Like there's lots of people and not everybody's going to be good. I've met a lot of really intolerant people, and some of them are like in my family. There's a lot of bad people out there. There's a lot of people that like expressing themselves with art, and I feel like people that are more privy to like expressing themselves tend to be more accepting people in general. There's something about doing fun things and enjoying yourself that just makes you a more well-rounded person, I think. For everybody in general, I'd say look into if your local library has any like support groups or fun events that they put on. Most places surprisingly do have like LGBTQ like book clubs and just fun events at the local library. But if you're around like my age, like 19 and up, like, and you're somebody like me who's online too much, frankly, if there's like a game you're interested in, you can join groups about that, and you'll probably meet people that like similar things. And I'm not an expert. Libraries are big, though. I recommend looking at your local library.
When I left high school, I graduated. I was the only one in my friend group, which was a little sad. Alone on a graduation day is quite weird. And that stuck with me because I chose the wrong people and I wasn't supposed to kind of be with them. So that kind of followed me out of high school for like 2 years. where I didn't have any friends. And I started following my passions. I was doing it anyway, but I just followed them a lot more. And now I have better friends and stuff. Like in high school, I didn't really, I just stuck with whoever became friends with me. So I don't really look for people who I should have been friends with.
Do you ever regret being those people's friend?
I do, yeah. Every day. It's part of my life, essentially. Because it kept me from doing stuff that I wanted to do, that I should have done. But I should have just followed what I wanted and became friends with people who were like me, I guess, or what I wanted to be, rather than what they were. I wasn't influenced, but I don't really get influenced. They just kind of prevented me from being who I wanted to be.
Have you ever talked to these people since graduation?
I do on occasion, but I don't really like to, because they are not like me at all. They have very bad morals and a bad sense of, I guess, what's right and wrong. So they kind of just do immoral stuff.
Have they ever kind of put you in a dangerous situation before?
Every single time. Every time.
What would you say is the biggest thing you learned from that entire situation?
That it would have been better for me to cut people off and go through the hard road of finding new people rather than staying with them and struggling through that. Because I've been the best influence on them, you know, like I wanted to go gym and I expressed that to them, and then they started going gym and stuff, and that's pretty good. Or they quit doing some stuff for a while because I pressured them into it, but I shouldn't have wasted my energy on them, you know. It's good to have them as friends, I guess, but I should have made friends that I would have liked. I guess that I would have been better for me, more beneficial for me, everything like that. Leave it as soon as possible, and just start going to places that you want to be a part of. Like I wanted to go to the gym, so now I go to the gym on my own. I make friends there. D&D as well, you know, MMA, like to fight and stuff, and like content creation. I do that a lot. Coding, you know, you just get into those communities and you'll meet people there as well. It's a lot better than staying with these people that will prevent you from becoming the person you want to be. It's better to take the hard road and change your life rather than to stay in the comfort zone of these people that won't benefit you. Not in like the kind of like the savage way of like get rid of people that won't like help you. That's not good at all. But you should be with people who you want to be with.
Honestly, I mean, I'm an introvert like my whole life, and the moment I tried VRChat, I mean, I probably looked like the most loneliest guy in here. Like I was sitting alone on like a bench, and then there's like group of friends over there, and I'm like the only one here, and that's, I don't know, it's really lonely for me. But over time, like the more friends I made here, I was able to strike up a conversation which I couldn't do back then, even in real life. Like I would usually avoid any attention at all. So yeah, after like 4 months of playing this game, it had pretty good impact. Like I became more sociable. Like I was able to overcome that fear that I would get things wrong and people might think bad like on my actions. So that's what I overthink like a lot, especially if like I'm gonna talk to like a random person. During high school, I got bullied a lot, and to the point that I'm afraid of like getting mistakes, like even just random conversations that I've been overthinking, like, should I say this? Should I say that? Is that okay? So I tend to like, don't approach people and yes, wait for them to approach me instead. I mean, I started like going out a lot lately. Back then I would stay at home, play video games, computer games, etc. Now I've been going out with my friends, hanging out with them, especially like my classmates since I'm in college. I mean, to be honest, my first time here, I mean, people are pretty weird. I mean, this is VRChat after all. But like, I've gained like a few friends to the point that my friends list became like 50. And then I've been hanging out with them like around 20 of them. Watch movies, go to different worlds, enjoy, have fun, play games, and other games instead. I know it's like easier to say than do or like than done, but try to get out of your comfort zone. Like I've missed a lot of opportunities back in high school, like being just myself. Like I wanted to join this competitions, these activities, and then now that I'm in college, I'm like, shit, I should have joined. I should have like put myself out there because I know that I can do it. I'm just afraid of like, what if I do something wrong? Like, what would people think about me? and that's something that's not healthy. It's pretty toxic for you.
I guess I'll say goodbye then. I'll catch a train tonight and return to Motor City. Should never last too long. I guess it's best this way, it's best to say it's on good terms, cause either way it's way too late to figure out who's right or wrong. It's Mr. Last the Rascal, thoroughly danced to dancehall, hugging a drink of rum and coke for shit's as dark as charcoal. Nice to say I might dance until the day is bright, find a lady for the night. I guess it's best to say goodbye.